The news tonight, the Kern High School District has settled a lawsuit brought against it by a coalition of nonprofits alleging racial discrimination in the way the district disciplined minority students.
The district did not admit it did anything wrong, but agreed to pay out $670,000 and participate in ongoing training for staff to end the matter. Eyewitness News reporter Kyle Harvey joins us now with reaction from each side. Kyle?
The plaintiffs are celebrating what they believe will be a change in the culture of the Kern High School District. School officials say the settlement simply memorializes changes that have already been in effect for years. They say they settled to save on the high cost of legal defense.
The students felt like they weren't even having a chance to have their voice heard, that their rights were being violated.
Lindsay Andreas is one of the lawyers representing a group of plaintiffs that brought the suit against the district nearly 3 years ago. They allege the district was suspending and expelling minority students at a much higher rate than their peers, in what amounted to civil rights violations.
There's a really hostile education environment that these kids were going to school with.
The Kern High School District acknowledges the disparity in the numbers, but notes that it's not something that's unique to Kern County.
But I think the important thing to note is there has never been any intentional intent to discriminate on students on the basis of their race.
The district maintains that if the case had gone to trial, they would have won. But the benefits of a legal victory, or in simply continuing their defense, would have been costly, roughly $1 million more of taxpayer money.
The fact that we wouldn't have been able to recoup any of the costs that we've already put into this lawsuit, it just didn't make sense to continue.
So what does the settlement do? There are essentially 3 parts. First, the 14 students listed as plaintiffs get $5,000 each. They must spend it on education. The rest of the settlement goes to their attorneys. That's about $600,000. But the settlement also requires the district to conduct mandatory training for all staff in positive behavior interventions and supports. And what's that exactly?
I had one client whose parents have recently died, so maybe looking into the reason, what's going on in these kids' lives. Are they just acting out because of one thing, or are we actually going to provide them with the support so that they can stay in school and succeed?
Andrea's downplayed the financial component of the settlement, noting it's the disciplinary model that the plaintiffs wanted to change, which they believe they have.
We look at this and we're really hopeful that it will bring out a cultural change. The parts of the lawsuit that we're most excited about are the other changes that will be brought to the district, and there's so many.
The district says such a request shouldn't have required a lawsuit, as 18 of its schools have already been recognized by the state for their efforts to reform their discipline practices.
What this agreement did, in essence, was to memorialize a lot of the things that we already had in place. We began the staff development, the exploration of providing intervention and support to our students before this lawsuit was filed.
I'm told the district spent nearly $800,000 on lawyers to defend itself over the last 3 years, and the settlement payment, close to $700,000, is not covered by their insurance. Live in studio, Kyle Harvey, Eyewitness News.